Also, if it's comfortable for any of you, can you please turn on your cameras as well? This is just to give you more confidence in public speaking, okay? So if you are comfortable in turning on the cameras, please do so that I can see you guys better and I can know that, okay, you are listening attentively and you are picking up each and everything, because expressions play a lot of role in English speaking, okay? They play a lot of role in conveying your message, and they also are very essential to, communicate your expressions. So if you are comfortable, I will highly recommend you to turn on your cameras as well. So you can just mute your mic, but just consider turning on the cameras at least, okay? Shazad, I am still waiting for the introduction from your side. Can you please introduce yourself to us? Okay, that's fine, but can you unmute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hi Shazad, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, so can you please tell us a bit about yourself? What are you doing these days and where are you from?
I'm Shahzad Mahmood and
Sorry, we cannot hear you very well. Can you please put the mic closer to you?
fine now.
I cannot hear you very well. You can just type in the chat if there is a audio issue or something like that. Okay, where are you from, Shazad? Which city do you belong to? Okay, that's nice. Karabagh Miali. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for letting us know. Um, I'll introduce myself to break the ice a little bit. I am Tuba. I will be your IELTS instructor, and I will be having like all the detailed sessions with you, and I'll be helping you to understand and comprehend all the IELTS modules and prepare for your IELTS exam. Okay. And we have two more students in the class right now, Hussein and Zara. You will get to know them eventually. So yeah, one thing I just want to make it clear that you don't have to hesitate or reluct in order to ask anything. You can just, if you have any questions, any confusion, you can just stop me right there and ask me in the session. All right. No worries, no worries. It's okay. Zara, is there any other student who will be joining us, or can we start?
We can start now.
Oh. Just let me share my screen. Because Shazad is joining us today and it's his first day, so I'll be repeating all those things we just discussed yesterday. Is that okay with you, Hussein and Zara? That way you can also, revise all those things. Is it okay if I repeat all those things? Zara, Hussein, can you hear me? I'll take that as a yes. So I'm sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see it. Okay, yes, all right. That's good. Can you see my screen? Guys, can you just tell me if you can see my screen in the chat? Okay, okay, great. Uh, let's start. First of all, let's give me a minute to describe what it is IELTS to Shazad. I don't know if he's already aware of those things, but it's important to know what IELTS is before jumping into all the modules, okay? So welcome to the IELTS introductory session. IELTS is basically an international English language testing system. That's the full form of IELTS. It's an international system set up by IDP and British Council to assess the non-native English speakers on their English speaking and English skills overall. Okay, so this test basically checks your assess your ability on some of the receptive skills and some of the productive skills. All right. By receptive and productive, I mean that how easily and how effectively you are capable of receiving information in English and how effectively you can communicate it to others if you want to communicate it to someone. Okay. So basically, there are two types of IELTS. In this specific class, we will be tackling the IELTS Journal module. IELTS Journal is specifically for those people who want to immigrate abroad or they want to move for a new job in an English speaking country. So for both of those cases, you will be needing IELTS Journal. Okay. And the second type of IELTS is IELTS Academic. This one is specifically for the students who wants to pursue their higher education in an English speaking country. All right. So that's the basic difference between IELTS General and IELTS Academic. You should be, aware of this difference and you should know that what type of IELTS you want to give before you start preparing for it, because there is a difference, a slight difference in both of them. Okay. This specific class is about IELTS General and we will be tackling all the things, all the tasks related to IELTS General in this session. Okay. So there are basically four modules in IELTS test, both in general and academics. These modules are the same. The first one is speaking, then there is listening, and reading and writing. These four modules are designed in such a way that they assess you how effectively you perform in each one of them. Like for speaking, for example, how well do you speak English? For listening, how well do you listen and how well do you understand the information while you are listening to somebody speak in English? Okay. Then in reading, how well do you comprehend the information while you are reading an English passage? All right. And for writing, how well do you write English? Okay. So these are the four modules. We will be getting into each one of them one by one later in this session. First, we will just discuss an overview of each one of them. First of all, start with listening. It's a 40 minutes module. You will be given 40 minutes to complete this module. There are total of 4 tasks which you have to do. Like there will be 4 recordings, separate 4 recordings, which you will be hearing in your speakers or headphones, whatever you are provided with. The first task, the first recording you will hear, it will be about a conversation between two speakers. Okay, two people will be speaking and you have to answer some of the questions given to you by listening to that audio. All right. The second one is monologue. The third one is like third and fourth one is almost the same. It's a situation which is being described to you and you have to answer the question based on that information. Okay. The next one is reading. Now this module, the listening one is same for IELTS General and IELTS Academic. Okay. The reading one, there is a slight difference because in the number of in the type of tasks. Okay, the number of questions are same. Like in reading module, you are given 3 types of passages. In journal, these passages are like short paragraphs, 1 to 2 texts from which you have to answer 40 questions. And in academic reading, there is one long passage in each of these 3 parts. and you have to answer 40 questions from each of them. Okay, you are given a total of 60 minutes to complete this module. And what type of texts are there, what type of passages you are given, we will be getting into that once we jump on to the reading module in detail. Okay. The next one is writing. For this module, we are also given 60 minutes. There are 2 tasks in writing. In this module specifically, you have to follow a minimum word count. Okay. You can also say in simple word limit. We are also given in our tests or assessments or assignments. There are 2 types of tasks in writing. For task 1, you have to write minimum of 150 words. And for tasks 2, you have to write minimum of 250 words. Okay. So for task 1, 150 is the minimum threshold. And for task 2, 250 is the minimum requirement. Okay. So what is meant by this, that if you write below than this word count, like if you write 149 words, for example, or 130 words, for example, for task 1, you will lose marks. Okay. And there is no upper limit. You can go like for 200 words if you want to, but you should keep in mind the lower limit very carefully. Okay. So in general IELTS, the task 1 is usually about a letter, and task 2 is about an essay. Okay. And whereas in academic, the task 1 is about a summary of a graph or like a table or a process, and task 2 is the same as the journal, it's the essay. So as you can see, the difference between IELTS journal writing and IELTS academic writing is in the task 1. For journal, it's a letter. For academic, it's a summary. Okay, we will be tackling this writing module first of all, so don't worry, we will get into detail of each and one of them. And once we jump into that, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Next is speaking. So this is the last module. This one is the only one where you have to like in live, you have to speak with a one-to-one conversation with an examiner. It's not a very difficult task, but for some people who are not very comfortable in speaking English, it could be difficult, but you can get better at it through practicing. Okay. So it's not a very long module. It will like take 15 minutes around, or even less than 15 minutes. There are basically 3 things which are covered by the examiner in this module. Number 1 is the introduction. He would ask you for an introduction, like where are you from, how many siblings do you have, what do you do, what are your hobbies, things like that. Okay. Then the second one is an individual speaking. This is the important one. The examiner will give you a topic to talk on for 2 minutes. Okay, 1 minute will be given to you for preparation for the topic, like what do you want to talk about, and then 2 minutes will start and you have to speak continuously for 2 minutes on that topic. Okay, now there are some tips and tricks to tackle these kind of situations. I know it's very difficult for some people to, impromptu speaking or having a prompt conversation. At the spot, it's very difficult for non-native speakers, but if you practice and if you follow those tips, you will definitely be able to easily comprehend this question. Okay. Number 3 is a discussion about the topic. This is the last part. Once you are finished, once you are done speaking on the topic, then the examiner will ask you a few questions based on the things you were talking about in those 2 minutes. Okay. So that's not a new thing. He will just ask you more detail and more in-depth discussion of the things you just said. All right. So that's the basic overview of IELTS module. How many types are there? How many modules are there? And what kind of questions? How many questions are you given in each of the module? Okay. Is everything clear till now? Can you please confirm that is there any question or not through chat? Shazad? Okay, good. Now we will get into the IELTS writing module. Okay. So let's, as I said, we will jump into each of the module one by one. Number one would be IELTS writing, okay, because this requires like more practice relatively than others. So if you started before any of the others, it will give you more time to practice on this one module more, okay. So uh, the number of tasks in IELTS writing module are two, as we discussed, both in IELTS Academic and IELTS General, and you are given 60 minutes to complete those two tasks. Okay. Then, like IELTS General training, task one is about a letter. The letter could be formal or informal or semi-formal. I am hoping and I'm sure that each one of you would have written some letters in your childhood in your grammar English. So it's not something new, but the type of letter could be changed, but the letter question is the same in IELTS Journal. All right. The task one is about letter. The minimum word count is 150, and you will be presented with a situation, and you will be asked to write a letter to a person, or depending upon the type of the letter, it could be a friend, it could be a manager, it could be a CEO, and you will have to write a letter and explain the situation or the problems to him in the letter. Okay, we will discuss the structure in a bit. The task two is an essay. The word count for this is minimum 250 words. Some people think that it's very hard to write 250 words in 60 minutes, but trust me, practice makes a man perfect. Okay, I am here to guide you. If you keep the tips and tricks and all those little, smart ways to tackle these kind of things, you will be okay. Okay, you don't have to worry about like I wouldn't be able to write 250 words, or I wouldn't be able to cover everything. It's just a matter of practice, which we will do. Okay. So the type of essay could also be semi-formal or neutral or discursive. Discursive means that it could be a discussion. You would be asked about your opinion, if you agree with this thing or if you disagree with this thing, or if there is any alternative strategies you would like to suggest uh, to the people or to the government according to this issue. So that's the kind of things which are covered usually in essay. Okay. Now, these were the two tasks which you will be given in IELTS Academic, IELTS General Training. Okay. In IELTS Academic, the task two is the same. The essay is the same. The only difference is the task one. Okay. The summary. Task one would be a summary and it would be formal. Okay. Uh, like you have to opt for a formal tone in your summary. Okay. You would be given a graph, or you can be given a diagram or a process which you have to describe or summarize, like what is happening in this picture. You would be basically provided with a pictorial thing. Okay, it could be a graph, it could be a picture, anything, and you have to summarize that particular thing in minimum for 150 words. Okay, you have to cover each one of the details which are being told to you through the picture in your summary. Okay, and the task two is the essay. It's the same as IELTS General Training. Okay, so I am hoping that you guys are familiar with the difference between IELTS General Training tasks and IELTS Academic Training tasks, respective to the writing module. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, so there's another thing which you should keep in mind. There is a computer delivered IELTS and paper delivered IELTS. It's totally up to you which medium you want to give your IELTS exam on. You can choose this while registering for the IELTS exam. Okay, most people and myself, I prefer computer delivered IELTS because the rest of the things are not that difficult, but in writing we usually have a good typing speed than writing speed. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So most of the people say that computer delivered IELTS is easier to attempt and easier to manage the time in, but it's totally up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, there is no such difference in the exam structure. It's just the medium that is different. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that the questions will be different, or it would be different from what I could have gotten, or it would be easier than what I could have gotten. So there's no such thing. In just computer-based IELTS, you will have to type the answers onto your computer, onto your screen in the given boxes. And in paper-based IELTS, you will write the answers on your answer sheet. Okay. So that's the only difference. And it's totally up to you, whichever you want to continue with. So in IELTS writing, in fact, in each of the modules, you need to be very careful about the things which you are assessed on, because those are the things which you should keep in mind while writing or attempting the questions. Okay. So the main things which you are assessed on are number one is the task achievement. Okay. What is the point of writing something if you are not writing it according to what you are being asked to? Okay, that's the simplest explanation of task achievement. For example, if you are asked to write a letter explaining the problems you are living in a hostel, but you are writing a letter explaining what you did on your picnic, that's not what you are being asked. Okay, so task achievement is the number one and most important thing which you should keep in mind, that you are writing on the template you're provided with. You are like addressing each and every issue which you are being asked to, and you, once you are done writing everything, you should reread it in order to assess that if you have covered everything or not. Okay, so that's the first thing you are assessed on. Number second is the coherence and cohesion. Okay, some people gets confused with this thing, but it's not that complicated. Coherence is and cohesion is basically just the it, in simple words, it just means that if your what you are writing is in linked with each other or not. Okay, for example, if you are writing an essay about political problems of Pakistan, okay, for example, but like in first paragraph you were on topic, in second you were also talking about the problems you are facing on local level, but you are slowly drifting away from the topic in your third paragraph. Okay, you are talking about the some other things, any other things, like your deputy commissioner, or you are talking about personal problems. Okay, that's not what you were asked. Okay, you need to be stay on point. You have to be very careful that you don't go overboard, or you don't write excessive or extra information in your writing. All right, this thing can also be perfected with practice, so there is nothing to worry about. Now that's coherence, that you should be like your text should be in coherence with each other, it should be connected with each other. And cohesion is that it should be linked to each other. Okay, I will give you an example of that once we jump onto the task one, that is a letter, that what is cohesion and what it does it looks like. For example, in a letter you are asked that you need to invite a friend. This example we'll be discussing in the later slides, but you are asked to invite a friend in your city for vacations or something like that. You need to recommend him a few sites to visit, and you need to suggest him some accommodation options. So those are the things you need to address in that letter. So what is cohesion? That once you are attempting the questions, once you are attempting the letter, you keep in mind that one thing should be related to other. Okay, first you address this problem, then you address this problem, then you address this problem. Okay, there is a sequence of those things. Okay, for example, if you're talking to someone, you say that, okay, I attempted the exam, and well, just wait a minute, let me plug in my battery. Okay, hi again. Apologies everyone, my battery died. It was very quick. So my apologies. Let me share the screen again. Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me, guys? Okay. All right. Where were we? Okay. uh, we were discussing the things which we are being assessed on in our IELTS exam. Okay, we were done with the task statement and we're done with coherence and cohesion. We will discuss cohesion in detail. Hussain, do you want to say anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Your mic is on mute. Do you have any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, then we will discuss cohesion in detail once we discuss the latter part. Okay. Number third is the lexical resource. The term is very complicated itself. I agree, but lexical resource just means your vocabulary. Okay, how well you play with the words, how vast is your vocabulary, how vast is your dictionary of your mind of English words. Okay, this can be done using synonyms of simple words or like things like that. For example, if I say that what could be another word which could be used in the place of designed. Okay, you can say created or you can say made, anything like that. Okay, so what is meant by lexical resources that you should use vast range of vocabulary in your text. The number fourth is grammatical range and accuracy. Now, this is based on two parts. Okay, and this part assesses you on how good is your grammar and how well do you execute it in your text. Okay, grammatical range is how well do you use the types of sentences, types of phrasal verbs, types of contraction verbs. Okay, all those stuff, and how accurate do you use it. Okay, for example, you are writing a sentence, you are not using punctuation marks, you are not using helping words like is, am, are. So you're not using your grammar accurately. Okay, so that's what is being judged in this fourth part. Okay, these are the four things which an examiner assesses on you on. Okay, assesses you on. So that's from that part. Now, how can you score higher? There would be separate tips and tricks for each of the modules, so we will be discussing once we discuss them. But in this specific module, IELTS writing, some of the few things that you keep in mind is that each task in IELTS writing is assessed independently. What is meant by that? That as we discussed, there are two tasks in IELTS writing. Okay, task one and task two. Task one is usually shorter than task two because the minimum word count in task one is 150, whereas in task two is 250. Okay, the essay is longer than task one. Also, the weightage of the essay part is more than task one. So, what you should keep in mind that do not spend a lot of time on task one, which should be like which should help you in leaving more time for task two. You will have more time for essay. Okay, so in my opinion, spend no more than 20 minutes on task one in writing the letter or summary. And then the rest of the 40 minutes, you will have to write the essay, recheck it, or reread it for your own ease. All right. Also, it's considered a difficult module comparatively than others. That writing is hard because you have to come up with ideas and you have to deliver it effectively. But as I said, practice makes you perfect. You will be practicing a lot on this module specifically, and we will all be here to help you with that. And inshallah, you will be good at it in no time. Okay, now
Ma'am, you are not audible to us.
Okay, I am unmuted now. Can you hear me? I'm so sorry, I didn't see that I was muted. Okay. Can you please specify from what part you could not hear me so I can repeat that?
Yes, ma'am.
Which was the part you couldn't hear me? You stopped hearing me. The last slides which we were discussing, should I repeat them? Zara, can you hear me? The writing module. Okay. Were we discussing the things we were assessed on? Should I repeat that? Or it happened after that?
Above 1.
Sorry, what? What did you say?
The present slide is not.
Okay. So I can just start from here. That's what
Yeah.
you mean, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we will jump into the IELTS writing journal module very quickly. As we discussed, there are 2 tasks. This thing has been repeated multiple times. Can any one of you explain me a bit what are these tasks in IELTS journal specifically? Hussain, can you please do that? It's written in front of you. Can you please just explain? I just wanted to know that you are understanding everything. Hussain, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Which type of your question? Please
My question
again.
is that can you please tell me how many tasks are there in IELTS journal writing module?
Yes, ma'am. There are 2 tasks of IELTS writing module. First is informal and formal. Task 1 is 150 minutes is your letter, and second task is your essay about 250 words.
Okay, that's right up to some extent. It's not 150 minutes, it's 150 words. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 150 words. Okay.
Yeah. So you in task 1 you have like a minimum threshold of 150 words, which you have to like keep in mind while attempting the task. And task 1 is letter. The letter type could be formal and informal, but the task 1 is a letter. You have to write a letter. Okay. And task
Okay,
2 is
ma'am.
an essay. Okay. Very good. Okay, so we will be discussing task 1 first. The structure of attempting the letter, even if it's formal or informal, the structure of attempting the letter is the same. If you follow a structure, if you follow a theme, if you remember a particular style of writing, it would not be a problem for you. Okay, you just have to like understand the structure and how you should be managing each one of the type of the letter. Okay, there are a few differences which you should keep in mind. So as you can see, I have put them side by side for your ease, that in informal letter, the basic differences, the main differences are in the greeting and the sign off. You can see it here. I have highlighted them in red. Okay. Informal letter is basically to someone who is very close to you, you are very close with, whom you know from a very long time. So you are like comparatively very frank with them, and you can talk with them about anything. Okay, it's usually a friend or a family member or a relative. All right. So while writing an informal letter, you have to call them by their name. For example, if I'm writing a letter to Hussain, so I will say, "Dear Hussain," not "Dear Mr. Hussain." That would give a informal tone, okay? Or "Dear Sir or Madam," which is the case in the formal letter, okay? The formal letter is usually like for cases when you are writing to someone who you don't know. Okay, you are writing to a head of an organization or to like secretary or to the administration or things like that, where you have to be professional in your tone and in your writing. Okay. So an informal letter, just remember that it's usually to someone who you know very well, and informal letter is to someone who you don't know very well. Okay. In simple words. So the first difference is in the greeting. When you greet your friend, you will write their name. When you greet someone while writing a formal letter, you will write dear sir or madam. Although this greeting part is also often written in the question itself, like how do you have to start the letter. But even if it's not given, you should know the difference. All right. Now the number of paragraphs should be is basically the same. There are 3 paragraphs, and those would be enough to cover all the things you will be asking. You will be asked in the question. So after the greeting, there will come 3 paragraphs, and each one of these paragraphs will tackle each point of the question. Okay, you will understand it better once we discuss the examples. Now the sign off part. Okay, informal letter, as I said, it's to someone who is who you are very frank with. So you can just sign off or end the letter by saying, okay, can't wait to meet you, or looking, let's meet on the weekend, let's catch up, or I'll be waiting for your call, or I can't wait to hear from you. Things like that. Okay, informal way. Just think that you are talking to a friend on your call. How will you end the call? Okay, you usually just say, okay, we'll call on weekend, or let's catch up, or I'll call you later. Things like that. Okay, you will not ask them, thank you for your time, thank you for your consideration. Those are the things which you use while writing formal letters. Okay, you ask for the person, the professional person who is who are you writing to, that thank you for your time, or thank you for your consideration, or I will be looking forward to hearing a reply from you. That shows that you know that he's a busy man, and you are asking for his time and you are thankful for it. Okay, that's how you should end the formal letter. Now in formal letter, you should use again your name. Like for example, I was writing the letter to Hussein, so I will write dear Hussein in the greeting, and in sign off I will say your friend, or just Tuba. Okay, so in informal letter, you will not be using your name. You will be using the name, but you don't have to be very straightforward. You will say you're faithfully, you're obediently, you're sincerely. Okay, so all those things. So these are the basic differences, the main differences, which are like very, very important while writing each type of these letters. The rest of the difference is in the tone of your voice. Okay, there are some tips for that as well, which we will be discussing, but you should know that there is a specific tone. You should already know that, because once you are like talking with someone, if you're talking to a friend, you will be talking in a different tone. Okay, you will be talking about different stuff. But if you are talking to an elder or someone you have met for the first time, you will be talking differently. Okay, so both of the cases are different. So that's the exact way here, and that's what you need to keep in mind as well. Now let's jump into the examples. How much time do we have left? Let me just see. Okay, we can continue till 12. We will discuss the informal letter first. Okay. Zara, can you read the question for me?
Which question?
This letter. Can you read the question? What is being asked for you?
Yeah.
Okay, please
An
begin.
overseas friends want to visit your country on holiday. Write a letter to your friend. In your letter, recommended the best time of year to visit and why. Describe the types of accommodation your friend could choose. Say what you would like to show to your friend in your country.
Okay, nice. Now, according to you, how many things are being asked to you to write in the letter? How many things, like, do you have to answer according to the question? Like what
Time of
parts you should
year,
cover?
visiting. Describe the type of accommodation.
Okay.
Uh,
And
also, would you like to show to your friend in your country?
okay, so basically three things are being asked from you. Okay, they are
Yeah.
asking that you have to recommend your friend the best time to visit. Like often we ask people that what is the best time to visit Naran Kaghan, because often it's snowing and it's not easily accessible. All the places are closed and all that stuff. So similarly, you have to recommend the best time to your friend, and why do you consider it the best time? Secondly, you have to give him options for accommodation. It could be a hostel, it could be a relative's home, or it could be his own home, your own home. So that's the second thing. And number third is that you would suggest him some famous places or tourist attractions for him to visit. Okay, these three things are being asked from you in the question, very clear cut. 3 bullet points are being made. That means that you have to cover these three things in your letter. Okay, now remember when I said that we have to follow 3 paragraphs in the letter? Okay, that means that each bullet point will be covered in each paragraph and you will be good to go. Okay, you will cover all of the things that were being asked in the question, and you will also not have to worry about the word count, because by writing almost 3 paragraphs, you will definitely like go up to 150 words. Okay, so if we look at this special example, dear Omar, how are you and your family? Hope that you are doing well. I am writing to provide you with some necessary information regarding your visit to Saudi Arabia. KSA is Saudi Arabia. Okay. Now, as you can see here, let me just. As you can see here, because it was an informal letter, I used the name of the friend. Okay, I didn't write dear Mr. Umar or dear sir. Okay, Umar is my, like, for example, friend. So you will write Umar or any friend name you want to address to. Then you start with a very informal way, like you do not ask, I am writing straightforward, I am writing you to tell you this is this. No, you are talking to your friend. Be very frank, be very open, ask about him, how is he doing, what is he doing these days, is he well or not. And that's the exact same thing being done here. Okay, how are you and your family? Hope that you are doing well. Then you will set the tone of the rest of the letter. You will like show straightforwardly what you are going to talk about in the rest of your text. I am writing to provide you with some necessary information regarding your visit to KSA. Okay, all of those things are necessary information. So he just like put up right out there that the reader should know what he is going to expect in the rest of the letter when he's reading. Okay, now the first paragraph. To begin with, let me tell you that the best time to visit KSA is during winter. What was the first point? Recommend your friend the best time to visit and why. That thing is being covered in this first paragraph. All right. To begin with, let me tell you the best time to visit KSA is during winter, and why. The weather in this season is extremely warm and refreshing. This will help you enjoy your visit a lot. He told him the best time, and he also gave him the reason why it's considered the best time. First point, tick off. Okay, what was being asked in the question. What was the second point, Zara? Do you remember? Or Hussein, can you tell me what was the second point in the question? No, what was the second point we just discussed in the example? What was being asked in the second point? Number first was that you will have to write to your friend and tell him about the best time to visit. What was the second thing you have to write about?
Yeah, accommodation.
Yes, accommodation. That's right. Very good. So in the second paragraph, you can see the first line, the very first line of each paragraph is telling the reader that, okay, I'm going to talk about this thing in this paragraph. That is called a topic sentence, usually. Okay, the first line of the paragraph is usually the topic sentence, and it gives a straight way, or it set it out very clearly that what you are going to talk about. Now, as you can see, in fact, there are options of housing to choose from. He's going to talk about the housing options, accommodation options. Okay. He is using a synonym here, lexical resource, which you are being assessed on. Okay. He uses a different vocabulary to address the same word. Okay, he could have used accommodation here as well, but that was being used in the question, so he used a different word. Okay, options of choosing is what he went for. Okay, that's a synonym. Now, for example, you may stay at a hotel. Also, you can dwell into a hostel. He is providing him different options. Okay. Moreover, there are other options like hiring a studio or even a private flat according to your budget. He has given him many options. Now it's up to the friend, whichever he chooses. Okay. Second point is covered. Tick off. Now the third one. There are many attractive places to visit in Saudi Arabia. The third one was suggest him some places to visit. It could be a tourist attraction or it could be a famous place. And the third paragraph is addressing that question part. Okay. So the third point is also covered. So 3 paragraphs were enough to cover all of the things that were being asked in the question. Okay, in the letter question. All right. Now, for the ending, hope to see you soon is very informal. You are asking to your friend that he will be coming to you. So he will be coming to your country. So you are hoping to see him soon. And best wishes, Dahlia. All right. That is a very informal way of ending the letter. Now, as I said that we will be discussing cohesion once we discuss the example. So the cohesion in this specific example is that he is addressing each and every one of the point in a sequence. Okay, it's in a sequence, it's in cohesion. All right. For example, he firstly didn't get straight into the topic like, dear Umar, I want to tell you about the the favorite like season or the best time to visit Saudi Arabia. He didn't just say that. He started in a very informal way, like he asked him how is he doing, how is his family, and then he jumped to the topic. Okay, and once he jumped into the topic, he took everything in sequence. Firstly, he covered the first point, then he covered the second point, then he covered the third point. Not like he covered the third point first or the second point last, nothing like that. It should be cohesion, cohesive and in sequence. Okay, so I hope you understand that. Is there any question?
No any question.
Okay. Okay, so I don't think we have much time. Let's quickly jump into the formal letter as well. There have been some problems with the public transport in your area recently. Write a letter to the manager of the public transport company. Okay, now you are writing to someone who you have not met with before, or he's a head of some sort of organization. So you have to be very professional in your tone. Okay. In this letter, you have to describe the problems. Then you have to explain how these problems are affecting the public and suggest what changes could be made. Okay. These, again, 3 points you have to cover. 3 paragraphs would be enough for this. All right. Now, dear sir, madam, as it's a formal letter, you will be addressing them with dear sir, madam, not by their name. Okay. Again, the first line is usually about telling the reader what the sender is going to talk about in the rest of the letter. So in the first line, he said that I am writing you this letter to draw your attention to the latest issues that we are experiencing in our district regarding using the public means of transportation. Okay, he set a tone, he set it very clear and cut that I'm going to talk about this in my letter. All right. Now, he also used some synonyms here. Okay. There have been some problems with public transport in your area recently. He didn't use the same words. Okay. As you can see that he wrote, I wanted to draw your attention to the latest issues, not problems, issues. So that's lexical resource. That's vocabulary he's using here. All right. So the first one was describe the problems. To begin with, the residents in my neighborhood face many troubles when they use public vehicles. Okay, he's describing the problems, the issues first. Okay, for example, most buses do not arrive on time. Also, they are very crowded and lack cleanliness. So all of these things, these are the issues the people are facing. Okay, first point is covered. Second point was how these problems are affecting the people. Okay, Then he come to the second paragraph and write, actually, these problems have many negative effects on passengers. One main negative impact is that they reach their work sites late. He described the problems which are being caused by these issues. Okay. It could be one problem or it could be multiple. In addition, they may not have comfortable rides as a result of crowdedness and not having enough seats. That's another issue. Okay, so first point was describe the problem, and second point was how these problems are affecting the people. Both of these things are covered. Now the last thing, the last point was what are some alternative strategies or alternative solutions which could be provided in this scenario. So however, these troubles could be solved in many different ways. For instance, there should be a fixed timetable that organizes the bus timing. Besides, all vehicles should be regularly cleaned to avoid illness. These are the solutions of the problems he just addressed before this. Okay, so the third point, alternative strategies, solutions, that's also covered. Okay, now for the ending, you have to be very formal as you are writing to the manager. You say that I trust that this situation will be resolved soon. You can also say that I hope that I'll be hearing from you soon, or things like that. You have to be formal, you have to be professional, and you have to be respectful. Okay, so yours faithfully, Amit Tamur. So I hope that you understand the main difference between informal and formal letters and how you should address both of these things. So regarding that, I would be giving you an assessment as well. How much time do we have left? Let me just. Okay, it's already 12, so let me just end quickly. There are some assessments regarding this, which we will be covering tomorrow. But can you just take a screenshot of this? I will also ask Zara to provide this to you. These are the two questions which I need you to complete. And as I said, that task 1 should not be like very difficult. You should not spend more than 20 minutes on this task so that you have plenty of time left for the task 2, which is the essay. So try to complete these tasks, these letters in 20 minutes for each one of them. Okay, so like place a counter or a stopwatch on your phone and then start writing by keeping all of those things in mind, and then start writing the letter. Okay, tomorrow we will check that, and we will see if what are the mistakes and what could be done better. Okay, is everything clear? Is everything clear, guys? Yes. Okay, Zara. Clear?
Yes, everything is clear.
Shazad, can you also confirm? If you have any questions regarding the assessment or anything, you can ask now. Shadad, are you listening me? Okay, great. For the assessment, I will also like to give you some tips again, just to like what should I say? These are the tips which you should remember actually, but in order to like briefly explain everything which we have discussed, these are some few points which you should keep in mind. Okay, these are very important. Okay, if anything you have not understood in the previous slides, like it would be around these things in short. So briefly, in informal letters, what is the do's, what you should do, and what you should not do. Okay, for example, in informal letter you have to use the person name, start with the friendly greeting, and give each bullet point in the question equal attention, which means that you are giving equal attention because you are writing each paragraph or each of the bullet point. Then you have to use informal connection words like but, so, not however, or therefore. Okay, those are formal words. Then sign off in a friendly way, like I can't wait to meet you. I have given you some examples for that as well. And use exclamation mark. That's very important. That's a very you can say good identification for a sentence, that it will tell you the tone of the sentence very well. If you see an exclamation mark, it's probably because it's an informal tone. All right. So you have to use these types of punctuation marks throughout your text to make it informal or set out the tone for the reader. Okay. And you should use contraction words like I would instead of just I would, like completely IWOULD. You should just write it in short form, like I would, she is, etc. Okay, these are the things you should keep in mind for informal letter, and these are similar for the formal letters as well. That for formal letters, the don'ts will be the do's and the do's will be the don'ts. Okay, so these are the things which you should keep in mind while you are attempting the task I have given you, and then we will check everything tomorrow. Okay, just remember that to follow the structure, which is very important. If you follow the structure, you will be good to go, and you don't have to worry about much. You just have to focus on your text, what you are writing, and your ideas. All right. Okay, so I think we can end the session now. I hope everything's clear. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me anytime. I'll be there to help you. Okay. Sarah, can you hear me?